This is actually the first time that we've kind of got into it like this.
Yeah.
Proper setup. Like in the studio, like we'll come in with a bag of jokes and a bag of vibes. We're just seeing what's going on. There'll be something that I've seen on social media that I've got to show Mike. Do you know what I mean? And just we'll set the tone, just ease into it. There'll be something that makes me laugh that just sets us in. But do you remember this one? We were doing a different song before we did Wake Up, right?
Yeah. Do you know, I actually can't remember which one we done, but I know there's one that I had a completely different tempo, different vibe. It was probably, it might have been Perfect Love, to be honest. And then I don't know, I feel like we were packing up. And I think I must have just stumbled across the sound and you were like, hey, wait, what's that? And then that, you know, and that just sort of kickstarted. So then we just sort of got into the garage bag and then, yeah, I mean, the genius you are. It's coming out of all sorts of incredible melodies, lyrics. So yeah.
I'm trying to think now, was the bass like something that set the tone for it? Because I feel it did.
We started with the drum loop and then you kept mentioning the steely guitar.
Do you remember when Shakespeare was doing this stuff and it was all that kind of synth guitar stuff?
Yeah.
Or even before that, like when I even think of like the Steal Away that was on Roland,
yes,
had that Steal Away sound.
Roland.
That sound was so classic on all those garage tunes, as you said, that I feel like when you even go into the garage bag, you've got to go back into that world.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
So I just love that, like all of you intrinsically go there. It feels as if you're deeply entrenched in the scenes in the UK, but you understand R&B in a way that, and garage, but R&B at the central core of everything in a way that's like no other. But we're like, what, 10 years difference in
exactly.
But we talk about the same songs. So like my reference point would be like Tyrese, How You Gonna Act Like That?
Yeah, I mean. Yeah.
But you might say what, like Ty Dolla $ign for certain things like that you'd be vibing with, or
yeah, I mean, and that as well.
bag.
Yeah, of course. But then I'll refer to like a Ty Dolla $ign for certain things, or I don't know, maybe as of late, like Blast or like Do you know what I mean? Her, of course.
I also say that the rap on Wake Up, your input is so fundamental when it comes to me like doing my thing, because I know that you know rappers, you know the cadence, you know like actually less is more in some respects.
Yeah, of course.
It's almost like we need this a one take thing, because to try and splice this together isn't going to really work. Like doing multiple takes, like you maybe would do in a song R&B vibe, but in rap world, it's like it needs to be one, and we catch the energy and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
And I think with this one, like there was one of the earlier takes was one of the ones.
Yeah.
And you were like, nah, that's it. And I was trying to do it better. And I was like, nah, I can do it like differently. He's like, bro, there's nothing better.
Yeah, it just felt organic, felt natural.
Proper.
So there was no need to like overcook it.
I remember a conversation when I was at home and we were in the mixing stages of that song in particular. And you just said to me, you know what? I don't know, the production, I need to sit with this one for a minute and bring something new to the table. And I was like, yeah, absolutely, man. I hear. And you said, I know what it is. Just leave it with me. Like, I know what it is. And I was like, I know Mike's got something. I know he knows what it is. He doesn't need to try and explain it to me. And I loved when I heard what you actually had in mind, because the guitars that you added, the sprinkles, the production, it made it feel, then listening to the version before that, I was like, that's why you're a producer. And I had so much respect for you, man, because you really, I like when a producer pulls weight. Right? You say, nah, this version can't run. Yeah. I was like, wow. So what are we going to do? He said, just leave it with me. Let me.
You know when like you're under pressure or like time pressure for things, it's like, I think it's a good thing, because then it forces you to do things that you wouldn't normally do. Do you know what I mean? If you have all the time in the world to do something, then like, do you know what I mean? It'd probably take ages. But I think hearing you and Jojo both on the record now, not saying it wasn't real before, it was real, of course. But like hearing you and Jojo on the record, then I was just like, nah, I need to come correct. Because like now, I think hearing the mesh of the vocals then sort of inspired new sounds. I started hearing new things. You can't explain it sometimes. You just hear it. Before, it was a good song, but I never saw it as much as a sort of country-leaning song until I think maybe I heard Jojo's vocals with yours, and I was like, okay, now this sounds like this is a story.
Yeah.
So that sort of just inspired me to add more layers and things like that. Yeah,
and I'm so glad that you did. I think our commitment musically has been one of the things that really inspired me. I think since we met, what's it been now? How long?
5 years. I want to say 5 years.
The beautiful thing with commitment, and this is one of those songs that most songs are kind of were done within a sort of an 8-9 month period of time. But commitment was one of the first songs
Early
that we
doors.
did. Yeah.
The
Third song.
Yeah.
Sean Wonder. Let's give
Yeah, big up
let's
Sean,
give
man.
Sean.
Big up Sean.
What a talented writer, like incredible. And we were like so in an R&B like period and bag. And I remember commitment like it was yesterday. It was what Sean brought to the table. It was the chords that you'd set the tone with. And then it was that every time I show you and you cannot see it. Yeah. That part was so key.
That was the source.
There's something powerful about this song that's channeling through us that day.
Yeah, and even the way you sort of came out with the way it came out, it was so random. Because I think you were kind of doing it not necessarily in the chorus, but you were kind of just doing it over the tune, innit? And then mate, the way it landed, it just made complete sense.
I could not agree with you anymore. And the thing is that song then became the start of our relationship as working together, became good friends, which for me, I've always said this when it comes to making music. If you can come out of it with a proper friend, then that's a good time.
Course,
do you know what I mean? Like the music is, in a weird way, is the byproduct of the relationships that you make.
For sure.
I feel like the commitment is to continuously make music that not only lights me up from the inside, lights you up when we're creating music together, but when people hear those songs that they live in people's hearts, it's very different than when I first started off, where it was like, I just want to see the world. I want to know what it feels like to have a number one. I want to play an arena. I want to go to a different country. And now I have I'm very grateful to have had those experiences, and they live in my heart. But the most important thing is being committed to giving people that feeling. So when I see someone like pull up in their car at the traffic lights and it's ringing off, every time I show you right, you can, and they're in their world, they don't clock me. My window's up, I'm looking, I'm thinking, yo, that's a number one every day.
Yeah, for real, man.
So that's really what this album's been about for me. And I think commitment is something that in any profession or any walk of life, when you're committed to something and you love it, the labor of the love, the byproduct is the things that come from that. It's a beautiful thing to be able to have those conversations prior to actually writing the song. I think that was what was great, because I got to know David and Theo.
Yeah.
And I actually got to hear some stories from yourself, we went deep in that.
Yeah, we did.
And it was literally embodied what Domino's was about. It was like one person shared a story that opened up and that was vulnerable and it was close. The next person opened up, the next one opened, everyone all in a room opening up. And it's like, wow, okay, we actually can create something from this. But I hope that those same conversations happen in other rooms where you don't necessarily have to write a song. You just get some food after if you need, you know what I mean? Or just chill. And I think it's those songs that for me make albums. You know, you can have songs that go off and do their thing. You got a banger here, you got the R&B thing, but then when you've got songs.
Yeah, songs, that's the word.
Everyone needs the air.
Sometimes sessions, like songwriting sessions, turn into therapy sessions. Do you know what I mean? For everyone involved, not just for the artist, not just for the producer. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm learning new things from you just as much as you're learning from David and me and vice versa. Yeah, so this song is sort of the representation or the manifestation of all those sort of conversations, really.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, so I hope for all of you that are listening to this one that, like I said, if there's a song that from this album that you want to draw for, that hopefully could be that, yeah, just listen to this song. Or maybe it could end up being therapeutic for yourself, that you feel like it's okay. It's okay. We can fall into each other's arms. And if the whole world does that, wow, we're all domino pieces that are able to see that we're all going through very similar things and you're not one isolated piece. You know what I mean?
Obviously, having achieved all that you have done, and when I say all you achieved, I mean awards, albums, number ones, top tens, all the above. That heavy Ivor novella.
It's heavy, right?
Any of that changed the way you make music?
Before I had no litmus test of what's working outside of, does it sit well on my big bass speaker in my flat in Southampton? Does it sound good on my Sony Walkman? And that's really about it. I feel like I was aware of awards, and maybe because of the Brit Awards and being nominated for so many that first year, being up for 6 and then not winning any, I think it kind of early doors, which this is a weird one. I was like, having not won any of them throughout my whole career, it gave me a good way of seeing that actually the success of the songs and the legacy of songs and what they mean over the years is really what this is all about. The currency is the songs.
Wow.
Do you know what I've got to say? Like this being like my 9th album, I think the thing that truly has changed is what used to be about show and prove and like we're here, like yeah, like, and the numbers really meant something, and the positions and the hot and being relevant and did you get the number one or that I recognize as part of the situation of what being in the music industry is about, but it's the game. It's like playing football. But you know what I mean? And respect to Apple, you know, I'm gonna give a shout out to Apple while we're here, while we're online. Because I think sometimes not actually kind of like showing everything that's going on in terms of how many people are watching things, how many the stats of things allows people to hear and consume content just for what it is.
Yeah.
You like it, you don't like it, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes when you attach something to it, you can inflate someone's perception before they've even heard it, and you're like, oh, it must be sick because it's done. But then you clock it, and then something in your spirit's like, it's not really that. It's not really it. But everyone else telling you is, oh, okay, it must be it then.
Yeah.
When I think about like a lot of the new artists that are coming through at the moment, I feel like there's so much great stuff coming out of the UK right now that just feels like it's inspiring. As a next wave of artists coming through, it's always good when you're on radio because you're dropping a new album, but I definitely feel like us getting in the studio with a lot of these different artists would be super wavy, especially for the UK, because I feel like you always learn from different people. Like when I was in with Nipper, I feel like he brought so much to the table. G-Love that we did together with Nipper was fantastic. Like, and his approach to things is different. Like he'll not just lyrically of what's current, but just of melodies and certain pockets, and he'll accept some of the kind of classic kind of R&B ways, but then there'll be a different kind of way to address that thing with this melody, and you're like, bro, I'm here to learn, bro.
For real, man.
Do you know what I'm saying?